Hey, it's Kid. First of all, I'm so grateful you're here listening to this episode. I'd love to be able to share announcements with you, events, things coming up. Please join my email list from kidcarson.com. Kid Carson Show. Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Phoenix Amara?
Yes.
Phoenix Amara.
Yeah.
And we're talking about sex. Here we go.
My favorite topic.
There we go.
My favorite topic.
Get the earbuds in. Get the soft speaker, because I should have brought a napkin so I can dab the sweat off my forehead while we're talking.
Well, I'll just say, I'm going to be super transparent, super honest
yes,
in this
please.
conversation, and just share, my path in it, why I'm so passionate about it, how people can incorporate more sacred approaches to sexuality in their outlook, because ultimately, our sexual energy is life force energy, and when we treat it as such, right, then that's when we can, more manifest from our hearts and really be in touch with our bodies, be creating relationships from a place of truth and authenticity. But we don't grow up with that perspective on sex, right? Most people, so the stats say most people come across porn now around the ages between 7 to 9 years old.
7 to 9?
7 to 9, yeah. And
that freaks me out because I have 2 boys that are 8 and 11.
And there's no ways to really approach the school system or the school board around their approaches with sexuality or sexual education. So for myself, actually working with adults and giving them tools and resources on how to develop a better relationship with their bodies, with pleasure, with sexuality, is a better approach to, then instill that in our children and how to have a healthier relationship with their bodies. I haven't watched porn for about 17 years after I got into Tantra and met my first Tantra teacher. And it's a big part of my work in helping people actually heal their addiction to porn. And
see, I would think in your line of work, you would keep tabs on the latest porn trends. Because there are trends that are there's this, what was the trend for the longest time? Babysitter porn. Or it's always the babysitter's coming over. And it's an older man and a younger woman. And why am I being the more vulgar one of the two of us? Why am I feel like I got to tone it down?
No. This is great. This is totally great. I mean, here's the thing.
Incest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this stepsister type porn that's out there.
Again, I think people they don't realize that, that their influences and tastes are being shaped by watching porn versus actually developing their own interest in what actually is a deeper desire. I also think that when you're watching intimacy that's staged, right? It's kind of you're taking that into your energy, you're taking that into your body, and then that's also kind of how you're showing up in your own sexual interactions, right? Where, you're more worried about performance than connection. And so I'm a big proponent in teaching people about how to actually create connection, more presence over performance.
Do you find it, okay, before we dive into it, there's going to be so much, this is going to be the first 8-hour podcast we've ever done.
Let's go.
How did you get involved in this?
Yeah, so that's a funny question. I was married. I was in architecture school. I was I'm going to become an architect and be the provider in my family. I was married to a poor bus driver guy, super nice guy, but and my life just crumbled. My marriage ended. I didn't get into my master's program, but I met my first Tantra teacher. And from there, everything changed. I started developing a healthier relationship with my body. I started feeling more like a woman. I was doing breathwork and working with tantric principles, learning about how to care for my womb, how to, massage my own body, how to slow things down, how to get in touch with my yes and my no. And it just took me on this whole healing journey that felt like an integrated spirituality in my temple, in my vessel. And I'd been very fascinated with spirituality from a young age, learning about chakras and energy and all of this stuff. But until I ended up finding Tantra, it felt like everything clicked into place, because it was the spiritual mechanics of my body. And from there, it opened me up into the realms of breath work and de-armoring and somatic therapy. And yeah, I've been teaching and working with people ever since.
It's funny, the first time I ever even heard the word Tantra was when I was younger, and it was like Sting. The singer, Sting.
Yeah.
And it was like, he practices tantric sex, and like the word hadn't been mainstream or floated around much.
Yeah.
And it was like a big TMZ, whatever the TMZ, probably Entertainment Tonight or whatever the show was at the time, covering Hollywood gossip.
Yeah.
And that was the first time like I heard the word. I'm like, well, what's that?
I think he was like, I can go for like 6 hours or something
like
that. Do you
remember? And it came out that, that's not true. It was just a rumor. I'm like, pretty damn good rumor, buddy. Please someone start a rumor like that about me. That'd be nice. Right? When you first met your Tantra teacher, were you still with your husband?
We were going through a separation.
Okay.
So we still lived together, but yeah, we were separated.
Okay. That would be, I think, intimidating if a guy hasn't explored that. Because guys can get really like, their egos can be so easily shattered.
Yeah.
That like, suddenly my wife has like a new Tantra teacher and like, you know.
I mean, my Tantra teacher was female, but,
That's funny. I just assumed it was male. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
am I secretly sexist? What's wrong with me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I assumed it was a guy.
No, she was a woman, and but it is interesting that like, there's this fear around, especially women talking to their partners around like what they like or what they want to explore, because typically men do get sometimes ashamed, if their partner brings up something, but this is what it is to have, sacred sexuality in your relationship, where you can actually have deep conversations around like, how do you like to be touched? What are some things you want to explore? I call it ritualized intimacy. It's where you create like intentional spaces for exploration with your partner, where you try different things,
Is it easier for women to go down this path than it is for men? The guy can take it as, I'm not good.
Yeah.
Or instead of it being like, hey, let's have a closer connection. Do you know what I mean?
I think this is the humbling piece around when you realize that you want to go deeper with your partner. You actually have to be open to having those conversations with your partner around trying different things, being students together and exploring things together, which is a big thing I do with couples. Is like, it's a lot harder for a woman to be like, hey, can I teach you this practice? Or, hey, initiating that. But if they're like, hey, let's go see this, sex therapist together, or let's go see this tantrika together, they can learn a practice together. And so they're both students and they're both open and curious. And that is, I think, where people start to notice a deeper intimacy bloom, is when they both let themselves open up. Because, a lot of times we have this fixed view of like what sexuality is based on, what we've grown up with. And to be honest, it's not like that at all, right? Like what we've learned is that like, it should take 10, 15 minutes. The average guy from watching porn, he trains his body to come and ejaculate within 10 to 15 minutes. The average woman takes about 30 to 40 minutes with foreplay to actually have her body open and be prepared for orgasm. Right. You never see that in a porn video. You rarely see foreplay. You rarely see intimacy or people breathing together or eye gazing. You don't see that. And those are oftentimes the things that are needed for intimacy to really blossom between two people.
Right. And in porn, like the guys are like literally taking a syringe and injecting their penis with like stuff that,
See, that sounds horrific.
Oh, yeah. I know it's been 17 years since you watched it, but no, but I've read, I follow a couple of like different people on Instagram, like different kind of sex experts and stuff. And that's one of the things that they said. They're like, guys, the guys in porn are actually injecting themselves with something. Yeah. It's not even Viagra, or it's like something 1,000 times more powerful because they're on camera and they've got to do the shoot for however long. Yeah. And then there's just like not a lot of intimate, like actual vulnerability or emotional connection. There are a few what we call ethical porn creators out there. So one of them is Erica Lust, and she portrays like more story-based erotic media that has like different kinds of relationships highlighted. It's more sensual. She's like the one person that I can recommend if people want to watch sexual media. I'm sure there's a lot of like independent creators. When I did watch porn, I watched amateurs who were usually couples, because again, I still liked, having that connection piece there. But since quitting porn and since not watching it, like my imagination is quite rich and developed and is based on my own desires. And then from there, I'm able to communicate that with, a partner and be like, hey, are you interested in trying this? And it's coming from my own authentic desire, So rather than something you just watched.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to think of an example. I'm like, I can't even think of it.
I mean, there's some weird stuff out there, man. The last time we did some research a couple years ago, I was like, oh my God, people watch this stuff? Like,
This episode powered by PHMX.
People are going to be able to come spend a week with us and go home, and it's going to be the most epic week of their life.
Stem cells, breathwork, even ayahuasca. Hello. Details on PHMX in the show notes.
and that's the other thing too, is that most of the time when people have been watching for so long, you have to watch harder and harder stuff to get that dopamine hit. As someone who, my last relationship, my partner was a porn addict, a secret porn addict, and, it had him numbed from his emotions. He had a hard time feeling, in his body. He had a hard time, I think, relating to me as a human sometimes, because he admitted, a lot of things around his issues and how it was affecting him mentally. So,
And well, now there's AI porn and that's another whole thing.
It's a whole thing. And the amount of men that have come to me that are in their 20s that are dealing with things like either premature ejaculation issues or where they can't even get hard from being with a real woman, in their 20s.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, it's not for me to shame porn, but it is something that comes up a lot. So when I work with people, I work on first, okay, why don't you try going without it for 30 days and see what happens? And let's try some other, get you on a different program, right, of exploration with yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it is a little peculiar that that's free and accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
I think in my conspiracy mind, my little corner of my conspiracy mind, I'm like, there's an agenda there. Ruin the connection between, men and women or partners. And
absolutely. So men are more interested in, a relationship with porn, and then they're less likely to want to date, to meet people, to be vulnerable to rejection. For women, there's a lot of things, right? They develop inadequacies around their body. Not to mention, it's your life force energy. It is your life. You can create so much magic and power. And so when you think about what are you giving that life force? What are you giving that life force energy every time you ejaculate? What are you giving it to? Right? So oftentimes when I'm coaching male clients, I'll say why don't you try, abstaining from ejaculating every day, start building your power up, right? It might feel uncomfortable. Try going a week and just see how you feel. You'll notice women pay attention to you. They can feel when a man has that containment. They're like, whoa, and they're like, damn.
Yeah.
That, and then also releasing with some prayers, with some intentions that you're calling in, right? Maybe doing it with a full moon or a new moon.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I knew it was going to get wild. I didn't know it was going to be this. So, releasing with the prayer, ejaculating with the prayer?
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, what does that even... what does that even look like?
Well,
I'm genuinely curious. I know it's funny, but so the ultimate maybe would be ejaculating, praying under a full moon.
That's
is that the ultimate?
That's advanced mastery, I would say.
Jeez.
But I think
goodness.
because a lot of times too, when we think about sexuality, a lot of times there's a lot of shame that's tied to porn addiction or porn watching. When you're weaving shame and guilt and other darker, vibrations into your sexual energy, it's more likely to have a different kind of outcome than one with prayer and love, right? So,
well, I've even heard something about there's an exchange of energy between people.
Yeah.
And you can carry that energy of the other person for months or years.
Yeah, I'll share a secret practice of mine.
Okay, here we go.
As a single woman.
Earbuds in.
As a secret woman, what I do is, when I self-pleasure, I have a ceremony with myself. So I take an hour, I work with a yoni wand. I don't use a vibrator. I use a crystal dildo.
That's called a yoni wand?
A yoni wand, yeah. So yoni is Sanskrit for portal, the sacred portal. Lingam is the Sanskrit word for wand of light, aka cock. And so yoni wands are beautiful healing tools for helping de-armor inside of your vaginal canal, for doing cervix massage, for having the most amazing cervical orgasms. And, when I'm in my practice, I'm not thinking about a specific person. I'm actually praying to my future person. And I'm envisioning being with him as a form of prayer and manifestation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's made of crystal.
And it's made of crystal. Yeah, you can get them made of glass, crystal, pink quartz, rose quartz. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say next.
Sorry, we'll get the fan turned back on again.
I know it just makes a lot of noise in the background, but we can always turn it on for a minute here. Interesting.
Yeah.
You've got men and women both coming, couples mostly.
I work actually with a lot of men.
Yeah.
A lot of men, because they are really wanting to heal their relationship to their body. They want to call in a powerful woman. They want to heal like their porn addiction. They want to stop being, disconnected from their hearts. There's a lot of reasons why men come to me, but I do work with men, women, and couples. So I do a lot of online courses, retreats, in-person sessions with people. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you hear about like athletes. We think of boxers first, where they say, don't have sex for a certain amount of time before a big bout.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah.
And I've tried this myself, going like, I think it was like 6 weeks.
That's a long time.
And yeah.
That's a long time.
And you know what? Yeah, when it's hard at first.
Yeah.
But as the weeks go on, I did feel like this I guess would you call it your inner
like
power?
Your power, yeah.
Yeah, like your life force, you said.
Life force, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like my life force increasing big time. Mm-hmm. And then I was with a partner and I actually didn't even want to release.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to release the life force, because I actually felt so like on fire for life that I actually stopped before. It's way too, it's TMA. TMI, I mean, this is way too much information. But I just, I just didn't complete.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to hold on to it.
And how was the experience though?
The experience was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was much different than normal, because I had extra, just, I was going to say extra,
that's great,
extra juice, but that's confusing in this context. I had extra like mojo or whatever, just like, but yeah, there is something to that.
Yeah, more focus. Men find that they have more focus, life force. And then also when you are practicing tantric practices with your partner, like, if you get to a point of mastery, you can have what's called an inner orgasm, or a non-ejaculatory orgasm, NEO, we call it. And you can have this experience. It's almost like fireworks. Like exploding inside of you. And it's actually the feeling that like women have in orgasm. And, I've had an experience with a past partner where I helped him bring the energy up, and he was able to have that. Because a lot of times too, women, they're like, oh, well, he's not having a good time unless he comes. So they almost like try to pull the energy out of their partner energetically, because they want them to have an ejaculation, right? Because like that means that he had a great time. But as a woman, like you can actually support your partner to bring the energy up and actually like have heartgasms, like
a heartgasm.
A heartgasm, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's a heartgasm?
I mean, a heartgasm, it just like opens up your heart even more, but it's like the feeling of like, I've had a few of them, and it just feels like your heart is exploding with like fireworks and bliss.
Hey guys, it's Kid. Please subscribe to the podcast. It helps push the show out to more people. I have had like the full body thing.
Yeah, okay.
Where your whole body is just like tingling, like from your fingertips to your toes, like
Amazing.
the whole. Yeah, it's not common.
Yeah.
That's just when it happened, probably happened a couple times in my life. You're like, holy shit, you know what I mean? But interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated that you work with a lot of men. That's pretty cool to hear.
I mean, it's it's really beautiful. Like they want to learn about courtship. Like I have so many.
And what would be the age group on average?
I mean, the average, I would say like anywhere between like 20s to 40s. I just had a really beautiful client. We're finishing up work together. He, lovely man. He's an artist. He's in a wheelchair. He was, heartbroken for many years after his divorce. Had a hard time letting that go, moving on. Did a lot of work with him around clearing his sexual energy field, opening up his heart again, harvesting the medicine from that past relationship. And like, I'm happy to report he manifested the love of his life, and they're in a really beautiful relationship now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
okay.
It goes so much deeper sometimes than like just sex, which is what I think a lot of people think, like, oh, she's a sex therapist. Like maybe like she'll help me become a sex wizard. And it's not through skill. It's through like things like presence and connecting your heart to your cock and getting more emotionally vulnerable with a partner, and like like some deeper stuff actually than people realize, right?
I'm just thinking back, but I called it a penis earlier, and now I feel so vanilla. You've called it a cock like 5 times. So I'm like, I got to upgrade my vocab.
Wand of light. It's a wand of light.
It's a wand of light. It's the magic stick.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, that's
I like
50
that
cent. 50 cent.
Yeah.
I got the magic stick. Remember?
Oh, that's what he was okay.
Oh, good.
I was a little bit too young maybe to understand.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I'm an old man. I remember 50 Cent lyrics.
We're the same age, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay, so where do people begin? I don't know where this conversation should go next.
Yeah.
Like, what do we need to know?
Yeah. So, I think where people should begin is just researching, being open-minded, starting to read books. I recommend people can read my book. They can read books by like Mantak Chia, Margot Nand. They're kind of like the OGs in Tantra. Starting to take online courses, learning about breath work, slowing things down, learning about tantric practices. Vancouver especially actually has a very vibrant Tantra community.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like my friend Naomi and Krista, they run Tantra circles here in Vancouver. I run events. There's a lot of people that are like holding it down. But you can find them in every city, right? And these practice groups, like they get together, they do breath work. You learn how to work with your sexual energy in a really like healthy way.
What does that look like?
So, okay, for example, like we call it leaky sexual energy. And this is where someone...
Leaky?
Leaky. So leaky sexual energy is like when, say, for example, a woman is just like manipulating people with her sexual energy, right? Men do this too, but it's like where it's kind of like a fire hose, and it's just like, it's not about like flirting or being sweet with it. It's about like trying to manipulate people or trying to like hook people to get their attention or like misleading people. Right? So when someone has like leaky sexual energy, you can kind of feel it because you're like, whoa, like, do I feel complimented? Or, you might be led on. Love bombing is kind of a form of like leaky sexual energy. Realizing that like your eros, as we call it, like your erotic life force is amazing. You can compliment somebody at a coffee shop, and it doesn't mean that you want something more with them, but like you might brighten their day, right? Or if you just like smile at a stranger on the street, like that's a healthy expression of your erotic life force energy. It can really make a big difference in how you also feel about yourself, right? Like if you, wear clothes that make you feel good, and you brush your hair, get your hair done, like you feel like beautiful. And it's when we have a healthy relationship with our sexual energy, that's when the world around us like just feels alive, But oftentimes, like I think too with women, right, when they are, and I don't judge women in their expression. Like, heck, I've been there, done that. I've explored the vast range of my expression with my sexuality. In one of my books, I talk about like my wild explorations, right? And I think it's healthy because... Is there a story
you want to share? One, just to...
chapter 13.
I know someone's listening right now screaming, "Kid, ask her to tell a story, damn it."
I mean, there was like this one time I went to Greece on this trip. I got flown there by a really cool guy, and I just broken up with a partner, and he was like not interested in sleeping with me at all and like, having sex. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go have a eat, pray, love moment in Greece. And I gave myself permission in that week to explore as much as I wanted. And it was a really beautiful experiment.
A flight to Greece helps. If that doesn't get you in the mood, I don't know what will. I've been to Greece. It's probably
it's beautiful,
unbelievable place.
Yeah.
So this guy's like, you gave yourself permission to let this guy invite you on a trip to Greece?
Yeah, I met him at this really crazy like erotic party in LA, and then one thing led to another, and he's like, "Do you want to join me and 20 people? I'm flying them all out." He's this beautiful philanthropist from San Fran, and I was like, "Sure." It was the day I broke up with my ex, and it was it was wild.
Wow.
Like I had my first threesome, and maybe a bit more than that, but I had these experiences that like I was like, cool, like I'd never had that before. But they were novel, and it gave me deeper insight into what I actually do want, right? Which is like a deep, soulful partnership, And this is something I wanted to touch on, is that like I think sometimes people have this perception that sacred sexuality means like, woo, I'm liberated in my sexuality and I should just go and sleep with everybody and everyone. And you know, like that's what it means to be liberated in your sexuality. And it's totally not that at all. It's actually about revering your sexual energy, revering it and honoring it in however it wants to be explored and expressed. And for some people that might look like being celibate for a few years while they meet someone that they can open their heart to. For others, it might mean, you know, exploring and having many lovers for a bit, right? But no one else can really judge what you need to do. It's up for you to decide that. So for me, it means like revering my pussy, revering my womb, you know, not letting the uninitiated enter her. You know,
uninitiated.
The uninitiated. What I mean by that is someone like, if someone can't hold me emotionally, you know, if I can't feel safe enough to cry in someone's arms, I'm definitely not going to be sleeping with them. You know, and my desires for partnership, you know, like for me as a tantrika, my desires for partnership like are tantamount. And so, you know, I can fuck myself very well. So, you know, I'd rather wait until there's, you know, someone I actually feel a deep emotional connection with.
You need like a black belt ninja.
I mean, I'm someone with a loving, open heart who can open in love with me. That's what it is for me. They don't need to like be an advanced, you know, DACA in all the Taoist arts. Right. That'd be cool, but like, you know, I don't need that. But like just, you know, that emotional connection.
Like, you'd get them there.
Yeah, I mean, I could help for sure. Yeah. But
wow, interesting.
Yeah. So I think like just learning and just starting to explore, like reading books. I think too, if people can start having conversations with their partner, like, hey, you know, would you be open to taking this class with me, or would you be open to doing a retreat with me? It's a lot easier to explore this stuff when you're both beginners or you're both students together, versus one person like, hey, like, you know, can I teach you something? Right? You can, but sometimes people can be sensitive. So.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's Kid. I know a lot of you know this. Some of you don't though. I mean, government money is fiat. Gold is real money. When you learn the difference, your jaw will drop. Start your Soundmoney Wallet. Trust me, now is the time to start getting hip with this stuff. Soundmoney Wallet is expanding to more countries every week. People are moving their savings out of the big banks and they're moving them into a Soundmoney Wallet. But why? It's physical metals, not paper promises, okay? You can access it instantly, liquidate it if you need to in a pinch, buy, sell, all online. It's unbelievable. And it's physical gold and silver. Find the details in the show notes or just go to kidcarson.com/gold. Okay, so people show up at this event. I'm assuming it's not like wild and crazy. You don't show up, but it's not like a nude wild orgy. It's, oh, geez, what's that load?
I'm just
what the hell? What kind of courses you doing here?
No, I mean, I do a range of events.
Right.
So,
okay, so there's levels to it.
Levels, yeah.
So you can show up as a beginner. If there's someone listening now who's like, oh, wow, this might be fun for, you know, my husband and I to go and check this out and like spice things up or just get more connected. Yeah. You can show up and it's like tame and not too crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
And again, there's like different levels within.
You didn't say that with a believable face. You're like, yeah, I'm sorry. Did you not read my bio or?
Well, so it's a little funny actually, because like, so I do run pretty like, you know, like very
spicier.
Good. I run good introductory experiences, but I also run what I call erotic ritual theater events, which are okay, how to describe? So I
costumes and stuff?
Yeah, costumes, story-led. There's artistry to it, ritual, and then it has space for people to explore different areas, like a massage room, you know, where people.
So it is like the movies. It is like the movies,
but not like culty,
right?
Like
but not culty,
but not culty.
But like, because there was a party that used to happen once a month in Vancouver. I've never gone, but it was always like, oh, this would be fun sometime. But I was married at the time, and you know, it just wasn't like a thing. But it was called like Sin something. It's like a club
Sin
night,
City,
right?
Yeah.
But there's like, I think from what I know, like different rooms.
Yeah, like bless that community. I think again, there's like different communities for every kind of flavor, right? So there's like communities for swingers. There's communities for like more poly sex positive peeps. I'm kind of in this interesting mix between like Tantra, kink, shibari, that kind of thing. So I'm really big into like artistry, into presence, into heart. So when we do some of our like more advanced experiences, like they're beautiful, they're romantic, they're sensual, they're like, it's like watching art, right? There's a story that we have like actors create, usually based on love stories from myth. And then at the end of the night, you know, I've been to sex parties. They're not my thing. I don't find them super like titillating, but the parties that I throw are beautiful because there's like a massage room, there's a chill out hangout space, there's, you know, different zones for different vibes.
And are people naked, or are they in costumes, or a mix? Leather?
It's a mix. Yeah, it could be a mix. Like usually we've had like a dungeon, you know, with mistresses in there, and like you can explore things like, you know, if you're monogamous and you're there with your partner, you're like, hey, maybe we can try flogging each other, you know, or try using a spanking tool, right? And then she'll show you how to use it in the room. So it's like a great way to explore different edges, but you're not going to feel overwhelmed, because usually at sex parties, it can be really overwhelming if you're new to it. Like, you're just like, oh my God, there's someone having sex right there and there. And it's like, especially when you're new to it, right? Most people are not connected to that tribal energy, right? Most people have grown up like watching people having sex on a screen, not right in front of them. But tribally, that's actually how we learned about sex, was from the other people in our village, you know?
I've never thought about that.
Right? Yeah.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the kids in the village didn't have an iPad or a laptop, or they would just see,
or they would spy on their neighbor, or they would, you know, but it would be in person. And so that's where we see what's called temple culture, and it's kind of like this resurgence of like communal group spaces where there's exploration, but it's not quite a sex party. It's more, there's like ritual, there's breath work. It's kind of more led around like the tantric principles. And then again, there's spaces for if people want to make love, and not just poly people go to this. It's like a lot of monogamous couples go to explore their edges, around making love in a more public place, right? It's a great way to just explore your edges in a relationship of any kind.
Are you constantly trying to kick out the single guys?
Well, we do a gender balance, right? We usually try to do a gender and sexual orientation balance for. So
there'll be couples, there'll be single women, single men, a mix of all different sorts of people.
A mix, and then also we do a lot of consent training beforehand. So like talking about consent, we'll do a practice called RBDSM, which is where you outline, you know, what is your relationship status? What are your boundaries? What are your desires? What is your sexual health, right? We actually have like a board usually at our events where then people put them up. And then you can read, you know, other people's desires. You might be like, oh, I saw a kid up there and he has this desire to be massaged by two women. Cool. I'm going to go find my girlfriend and ask him if he'd like to receive a massage from the two of us. Right? Some people just want to be.
And when is this happening again?
I don't know when the next one's happening, but our last one was last year.
Wow.
So.
Well, please text me immediately.
Actually, we have an experience next week. It's a little bit different, but I was going to invite you to it. So,
how advanced? To what level are we talking here? Yellow belt, green belt, black belt. Like, where are we?
This one's definitely like green. It's a live shibari performance between two women. So.
I shouldn't have said belt colors. I don't even know what they mean. Green, yellow. Oh yeah, I know. I show up and
I think like red is like intense, you know, orange is like, you know, medium.
Interesting. No, this is very fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never gone to an event like that, or a sex party, or any of that stuff.
If you want to come, I have a ticket for you next week. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a tantric BDSM session, but you get to be like a fly on a wall, and it's between two women. And for those people that don't know, like BDSM is, there's a lot in there, but this one is actually like a shibari session. So a woman's going to get tied up, and there's different preps.
Oh, shibari's the tying.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rope tying. So, but it's infusing like tantric practice, breath work, but then you get to be part of the audience. And then if you want to be immersed in the experience, you can participate in some gentle ways. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a little crowd of, and how many people would be there?
Like 40 people.
40 people?
Yeah, intimate.
Sitting in kind of like in a circle? Or is it like happening on a stage?
Not chanting or anything like that.
No.
Candles and a dive.
Okay. And then they pull out a big dagger. No, but like I'm trying to visualize what it would look like. Is it happening sort of is on a stage and everyone's looking up at the stage?
Or it's just in an intimate setting in a living room, and we're just kind of there as witnesses, but then also like her name's Cheyenne. She's our headmistress. She'll be like tying up Kaylee, inviting the crowd to breathe together, maybe asking them to like whisper affirmations to Kaylee. So it's kind of like an intimate group experience.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
I know this is normal for you. This is wild for me.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. It just, it gets me in touch with my eroticism, with, I think too, like for women, right? So what I love about Shibari is that for all the people listening out there, a lot of times as women, we want to let go, right? In the bedroom, we want to be able to surrender. Actually, sometimes anyone wants to surrender. I shouldn't gender it, but I can speak for myself as like a very alpha woman. Like I actually like letting go and being submissive in the bedroom, sometimes, and like just letting go, but it's hard to. So being tied up, right, allows me to, I can't do anything. So I got to just enjoy. And then if you're being, if you have a partner who's teasing you, who's bringing you to like an escalation of pleasure, it's powerful, right? It allows a woman to access even deeper realms of pleasure. And from there, that's when she can become like, I don't even know, ultra orgasmic, like multi orgasmic, right? Because then she can keep surrendering to like an orgasmic wave that's just like this long stretch of time, and that's, I think what Shibari allows is for someone to like let go. Right? So
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So that's kind of when you watch the experience, you're watching like somebody surrendering, right? Because like, man, we live in a very busy life, works, career, children, bills, you name it. We're always on the go, but to like actually surrender to, like it's rare. It's rare. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost like an exaggeration of, stereotypically, the woman is wanting the man to take charge. Like, pick where we're going to go eat.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
I got one right. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, right.
Yeah, well, and also too, like it heightens the polarity, right? So, you're bringing up, I think, earlier a theme for men where like they want to feel like the fucking boss and they want to feel like the king. Put her in a position of submissiveness and take your time with her. Tease her for an hour. What would happen for a man if he actually like teased his partner for 45 minutes and enjoyed it? Like, I'm telling you, men, please try this in the next week and watch what happens. Your partner is going to just like, and it just builds the eros and connection to a whole new level, right? Because a lot of times, men, like, they're just like, they know what sex is going to feel like, so they're right there, right? But if they can contain that energy and like not give her what she wants and like actually like hold that tension, it will just create so much more like she's just going to want to be like, come here, but she can't because she's tied up or whatever, Right.
Is there there seems to be like a conversation out there about society is weakening men. They're losing their testosterone even. They say that testosterone levels in men.
Oh, this conversation, I love it.
Yeah, like
I love it.
Like, what is it?
I love it.
I read a stat, and I could be totally botching this.
Yeah.
But something like the average, like 25-year-old man now has the same testosterone as like a 50-year-old man in the 40s or something like that. Like in the food we eat and just how society is, and that like and men are now on porn. They want to play video games and watch porn and not even deal with the
Yeah.
the rejection or whatever it is.
It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue. And I just want to say for the record, I'm a big lover and supporter of men. Like that's also a big reason why I do the work I do. I want to see people in love. I want to see people having great sex lives. I want to see men feeling empowered, women feeling loved. I noticed a big difference when I went to Europe a couple years ago for a trip for a month. I noticed like more men talking to me, like making eye contact with me, like flirting with me. And I just I noticed such a stark contrast here in Canada. I was like, what? Like I didn't even have to use a dating app in Europe. I was like, oh my God, I love it here. Like, getting whistled at and like compliments. And I was like, oh, like, thank you. Now, the testosterone, right? Like their food is different. So for men here, it's like, yeah, doing the things that are going to up your testosterone. Not watching porn is one of them.
Right. Yeah.
Taking your supplements, getting sunshine, connecting to the earth, like all of these things, reconnecting to your powerful masculine energy. Join a men's work program. There's nothing that raises testosterone more for men than actually being with other men.
Mm-hmm. And we're in a loneliness epidemic right now.
Massively.
Right?
Massively.
Yeah. Men aren't connecting with other men.
Most men don't even have another brother that they can ask for relationship guidance so they can open up emotionally to. Like 90% of the men that I know, the 10% that I do know, they're men's work coaches and they're like on their own healing journey. But the majority of men, they still don't, And
is there something culturally happening too? Like when you said, there's some men who are like whistled at me, and you're like, yeah, like here it's like I feel like if you whistled at a woman, it would be.
This is also the other thing. I mean, I'm a big advocate for women's rights. I'm a big advocate for women feeling empowered, and I really do not align with the flavor of feminism that wants to tear men down. I really don't think that supports anything because men are the backbone of our society in a lot of ways. And I think that when we raise men up, when we give them validation, when we love them, that is what kind of adds to, opening them up as a whole and bringing them up with us. So I've seen the women's empowerment movement is just fucking skyrocketing. Right. And when I'm engaging with men, whether it's in the world, whether it's in, a dating app, whether it's, in person, I'm trying to let them know that they're special, they're sweet, they're lovable. And, and if they're engaging with me in a behavior that doesn't land, I'll just tell them why it doesn't land with me. I had this guy on a dating app a little while ago, and he was he wanted to say the words smash. And I was like, I hope you're talking about hamburgers here. He's like, well, I didn't know what to say to you. And I thought it'd be funny. And I was like, actually, that's my heart dropped when you said that to me. And I told him exactly how his words landed with me. And he apologized. And I said, please promise me that you'll never say that to another woman again.
Just you look like someone I'd like to smash, something like that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And so but instead of getting so upset, I actually let him know how disappointing that was. And he actually had a shot to engage in a conversation with a babe, and he totally blew it by being vulgar. Yeah. Right. And that's where, for me with my work, especially with men, I do courses and trainings around the art of courtship. Really, a lot of women have had to be, powerhouses and babes because they've had to be, because we've gone through as a society the epidemic of fatherlessness. That's what we're all surviving from. Right? Yes. I grew up without a father. I think 80% of people.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Have grown up without a father. And it's not that men are bad. It's that there have been things culturally that have massively impacted men. And also, you look at things like colonialism. You look at things like lack of eldership. There was a major sever in the last 100 years with industrialism. So, that's what we're recovering from as a whole. Right. And so, a lot of us have had to become warriors and independent, not because we wanted to be, but because we had to.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You mentioned the dating apps.
Yeah.
What are the good dating apps these days? What would be... I feel like you'd be on... I don't feel like you'd be on Tinder. I feel like you'd be on some special app we've never heard of.
Well, I'm actually doing some research right now. So I'm on all the apps just to kind of do some deeper research. Plenty of Fish is the worst. Worst.
I remember my POF days way back in the day when it was like still new.
You think that it would be great because people are like looking for relationships, but you get like random messages from like Joe Blow who you don't have an attraction to, right? Most of the modern dating apps, you have to have a two-way match in order to be connected. So Field is a good one if you are an alternative person. So if you're looking for like an alternative connection, if you're poly, if you are sex positive, if you're into kink or you want to explore, Field I recommend, F-E-E-L-D. It's a good app for that. Hinge is a really good one for relationships, and the way that their platform works is that you have to slow down when you use it, right? Like you have to you can't swipe, you have to like look through their profile and then X out. Bumble is also nice. I do like Bumble, and surprisingly I've made some nice connections on Tinder. Surprisingly. But
wow.
Yeah.
Because Tinder used to be the one, like there always seems to be like one app where it's like, I'm horny, you're horny, let's meet up.
Yeah.
Is there any, but now they're all sort of.
It's all a mixture.
So there is no just horny app anymore.
I'm sure there is. Not one that.
I feel like there's no actual, and I'm not asking for me. I'm just saying, people would say like, you meant on Tinder. Oh, because it was like known as like the horny app. But now they're all like dating apps. Yeah. I wonder if there's got to be apps out there. I don't know.
There's got to be. I think Field is one that's more used for hookups for sure. Yeah.
But that's more in the alternative space.
Yeah, like you get like people that are wanting a throuple. You get people like you get people looking for masters or slaves. You get all kinds of different stuff on there. Quite fascinating.
Just doing my research. Just whatever.
What about you? What apps do you, or are you?
I'm not on apps.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I have downloaded a couple.
Yeah.
Just to swipe out of curiosity, but I haven't like messaged anyone. I'm not like.
Yeah.
Not really looking for
dating in the wild.
Like on the streets. Another
thing too that like comes up in conversations around dating that people ask me all the time. They're like, well, when should I sleep with somebody? Right? And for me, I think that there's like a sweet spot, right? There's a sweet spot because I think if you sleep with someone too soon, right, it's kind of forcing connection. You're getting like that dopamine hit. You're kind of like opening yourself up really fast without really knowing if there's alignment. But if you sometimes wait too long and then you fall in love with a person and then you realize you're not sexually compatible, then you're in for a whole nother world of heartbreak. Right?
Yeah, maybe that's worse.
It's happened to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Kid. So listen, you've probably seen a couple YouTube videos or whatever about microdosing and how it can cure all these amazing things. Most companies aren't living up to it. MindfulMEDS is. When I discovered them, my mind was blown. I knew I had to partner with them. So if you're stressed, a little bit of anxiety, I don't know, maybe you're depressed. You got some things going on, man. This could change everything for you. MindfulMEDS gives you the blends with lab-tested psilocybin, natural clarity. This is the most premium microdose you can get. They also have functional mushrooms that don't have any psilocybin in them. It's about finding out what's right for you. Go to their website, take their 3-minute quiz at mindfulmeds.io. I'll get the link in the show notes. Finally available in the US.
Save 15% off anything in the MindfulMEDS shop by using promo code Kid Carson.
Yeah, and I've explored with, because I'm fascinated by all things sex, love, and dating, right? But I think that there needs to be you need to discover, once you feel safe with the person, you do need to discover hey, are we actually compatible sexually? Because having in a relationship, the sexuality pillar, being alive, right? Understanding for me, what's important, obviously with my own, career and interests, like somebody who is curious or interested in kink, someone who's interested in learning different things like shibari. They don't need to be a master at it, but someone who's curious to try things, trying breath work, going to Tantra events or retreats, together. I identify as monogamous, which is kind of like a unicorn in that space. But again, it's I can't date someone who's a normie, who is pretty vanilla, because they're going to be freaked out.
Yeah.
They're going to be freaked out.
Find a rope sitting on the edge of the bed. They go, what the hell is this?
Yeah. I've had that happen. Yeah. I showed a boyfriend once my under the bed restraint system, and he was just like, and I was like, yeah, man, it would be fun. And he was like,
Now, does that come from insecurity?
Yeah, I think it does. And that's the thing, is that you don't need to be like a master at these things. You just got to be like, wow, that'd be fun to try, right? And have a beginner's mind, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
No, because I can think back to when I was younger, and the first time you date someone who's like way more experienced than you, you know, yeah, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
I remember being like really intimidated. I'm like,
Yeah.
you've done that
Yeah.
and this, and like, you know, now much older, I've lived a little bit, but
Hopefully.
But when you're young,
Okay.
when you're young and you meet someone who's like way more has more experience than you,
Yeah.
from my experience, it was like very intimidating. It was kind of scary, and I felt like, you know, not emasculated, but like you know, she's the man. She's not the man. That's the wrong phrase.
Yeah.
but
I get what you're saying.
you know what I
though.
mean? Yeah.
And I think that it's like, again, just being curious and like wanting to explore these things with a partner, you know, and then trying some games that slow things down. You know, there's actually a really great game. It's called the 3-Minute Game by Betty Martin and her Wheel of Consent. And it's a touch game. And it's just getting you to slow down and learn about how to ask for a kind of touch that you want to get. And then actually taking pleasure in touching somebody for 3 minutes. And not thinking about whether they enjoy it or not, but you enjoying it. And it's a really great game.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And is it like a card game, or you roll dice, or how does that work?
No, you just each take like 3 minutes. So the first person out, like for example.
Okay.
the
Give me a look up and down. Okay, you want me to? I can do a slow spin if you want. You can pick.
So for the first 3 minutes, I would be like, okay, how do you want me to touch you for 3 minutes, right? And you might be like, okay, can you like massage my head, right? And you'll ask me for a certain kind of touch. So I'll do that for 3 minutes. And then after that, I'll ask you, well, how would you like to touch me for your pleasure? Okay. And then you're not thinking about me and if I'm enjoying this or not, you're just touching me for how it feels good for you. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then we switch after. So then I'll ask you for a kind of touch, and then I'll touch you for my pleasure. And each round is 3 minutes. It's really great. It's a fun way to explore asking for what you want, and then also surrendering to someone else's pleasure and seeing what happens. And I find that the surrender piece, you actually like, when you like let go and you're like, I'm going to let this person enjoy touching me just for how they want to touch me. Like, you get even more turned on.
Interesting. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
The 3-minute game.
3-minute game. Yeah, and you can just Google it.
Okay, so people are now curious. How do they get a hold of you? I think you have a book coming out, do you?
Yeah, I have my second book coming out in about a month here.
Okay. Now, what's that focused on?
That one's focused on the goddess. So it's actually the 13 archetypes of the goddess. I mean, it's a great book for men and women to read. For men, it will give them a lot of insight into women. For women, it will give them a lot of insight into themselves and the different archetypes. And the reason why I love archetypes so much is it's kind of like role play, but it's a way to get in touch with different aspects of yourself, like the warrior, like the lover, like the priestess, like the queen, the king. And so in the book, I have, different archetypes, but then I also have stories from women on working with different goddesses. So, I have my own story about like heartbreak in there. I have an author's story about, going on an erotic tour across Europe. I have another woman's story about her body shame and healing that.
What's erotic tour code for?
I think
like you went on a, erotic tour.
I think she had some experiences with way younger men that like changed her life.
Okay. Okay.
So,
okay.
The stories are like, vulnerable, tender, titillating. There's a bunch of different stories in there that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the book called?
It's called Secrets of the Goddess.
Secrets of the Goddess.
Yeah, Secrets of the Goddess. So
interesting. And then so people can go to your website, which will link all the stuff in the show notes.
Yeah.
So you have like new beginner couples that are just like, this sounds crazy, let's try it.
Yeah.
And then different events or courses.
So like for the most shy, what I would recommend is doing my self-study Golden Flame course.
We don't got to call them shy. I almost said you
Sorry,
don't.
kid.
I almost said you don't got to call me shy. I quickly switched it. You don't got to call me them shy.
Well, I mean, like, for the self-study course, it's great because it's like at your own pace. It brings you on a journey. So
is it online you do it?
It's online.
At home,
yeah.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of personal growth work, and I find some of it boring, right? Because I'm very creative. I need like, So this journey is actually a story-based journey. And you go through these different archetypes and you have practices. There's like demos on kink. There's demos on massage, right? So if like, say you're in a couple, you're like, oh, every week or however long you want to pace it, there's a different quest that you go on, right? To explore that different side of yourself. And it has practices woven throughout. So that's a really great starting place for people, especially if they're like a little bit, they're more quiet about their exploration. I have an upcoming 7-week online course, which is live with guided practices in a live online co-ed container that's starting next month. It's my signature introduction to sacred sexuality. And then they're guided through practices, discussions, breakout rooms with people. And it's really beautiful and safe. So it's a really great way to edge into it. But I've had 150 people go through the program in the last 5 years, and people have gone through it and met their life partners, or healed from heartbreak or healed body shame. Because there's different practices we go through. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. Well, this has been a fun convo.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I feel like there's so much more. We might have to have you back.
I know. It's
to talk about. Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely let me know about some of these events that are coming up.
I will. I will.
Be very cool to just.
I think you'll find it fascinating.
I'm pretty sure I will. I'm pretty sure I will. You're the best.
Thank you, Kid.
Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Kid. First of all, I'm so grateful you're here listening to this episode. I'd love to be able to share announcements with you, events, things coming up. Please join my email list from kidcarson.com.